only, yeah, like toilet paper is our go-to.
I love getting my hair cut, especially when there's a scalp massage involved.
But she would say, your body is a temple and you need to take care of it.
We have a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, where he just ate garbage. How long was that? A year?
Do this. I can't do this without Cassie and the kids enabling me to do this.
I find myself encouraging myself, so I'm like, no, you can do this. Don't give up.
We got lots to say.
I love my husband so much and my son. I had a baby. Her name is Isla.
I want to see the baby. I've definitely had multiple drinks on multiple episodes.
Loosen up.
It's a podcast. We're here to have fun, so enjoy yourself. Quicker. That would have been a great...
First breakfast, second breakfast.
Interest. Fucking Olivia had 3 breakfasts the other day.
Oh, Olivia, girl.
I just channeling my inner Mel Robbins when I don't want to give a fuck, and I just let them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not fighting you over Nutella toast. God.
The let them theory. I heard that was quite controversial. Okay, wait. I'm going to forget to say this. I want to be holding myself accountable. I signed up for a half marathon in October.
Where? Which marathon?
The Toronto Waterfront. I'm already disconnecting. Can you still?
No. Like you were 47% there the whole time.
Okay.
I want to guess. Toronto Waterfront.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So is that what the race is called?
Yes. Yeah. So they do
Toronto Waterfront Half Marathon.
So it's the.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be a dick. This is for the show notes.
No. It's a full event. So they do the 10K, I believe. They do the half. They do the marathon. They probably do like a little. Oh, I think yes, the 5 as well, because you can like warm up and do the 5 like on the Thursday. And I was like,
I need all the energy.
Yeah, I was like, I'll be eating so much pasta the day before this event. Like, you don't even understand.
Carbo loading.
Sorry, I'm just having a flashback
fettuccine
of
Alfredo.
Yes.
It's rabies. Oh my god.
Carb loading, like, as he's running. Like, immediately before. Yeah, I'll be eating this preceding the race. The day
and then
before.
Toby, Anyway, yeah, that was a good one. My god.
Anyway, so I just... So that everybody... all of our listeners follow up and ask me how the race has gone in October, then I will have answers. Okay, I was going to ask
October.
Yeah, 19th to Sunday.
October 19th, Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have
good times?
A goal?
For time?
Maybe it's too early in the planning process. You haven't figured that out yet. But...
Oh, yeah. No, my goal is to complete it. I've done 1 half marathon before when I was in shape. Okay. So that was like nearly 15 years ago. Yeah, I'm not even joking.
Records.
2013. I think I did the half marathon. 2013. Does that sound right?
Frank, you can have 3 breakfasts anytime you come to my house. We got Frank in the live stream chat.
Frank.
Super duper stoked about that. Stay active, folks. If you're out there watching,
Frank wants 3
stop
breakfasts.
in and have a chat with us.
Dude.
Sorry if I traipsed all over you, Jenna, but you cut
No. I want Frank to make me 3 breakfasts. What would Frank make for breakfast? What are his faves? I want to know.
Frank, he eggy bread? Was that what you call French toast over at your house, Kevin? Yeah, he's doing eggy bread. Alpen.
Let's toss something on the fucking frying pan.
Get some fucking... Toss some fucking meat in the frying pan. I don't know what he says. Oh, that was good. Yeah, no.
Mrs.
Marathon,
Cassidy.
You can't just cold cock that one.
It's half. No.
I mean, I feel like if you've done a half marathon, I'm rounding up and just calling it a marathon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 21 versus 42.
You start behind Eggs Benny, he says. Oh, fucking Eggs Benny's good.
Shut the front door.
Eggs Benny's so good.
On, like, traditional, like, on English muffin? I need to know, Frank.
Yeah, Frank, just drop down the recipe, primary ingredients, and then we'll finish our salivating.
Yeah, Frank's very on. I wonder if Frank would ever write a cookbook.
Oh, man. We have to have a funny fucking name, though.
Like,
you do a great cookbook.
No, like something alluding to...
You know what? He's also a volunteer firefighter. Waffles.
Waffles?
Eggs Benny over waffles?
Oh, what?
We
Hadn't
can't
even
do this.
considered that.
We can't just keep having a conversation with the chat. Oh, man, it's been a wild minute ride, though. Holy shit. Chipotle Hollandaise?
What?
Chipotle is my life.
So for the viewers and listeners, Frank, I don't think they can see the chat. So Frank says Eggs Benny waffles, Chipotle Hollandaise. So we're assuming it's Eggs Benny over waffles with his Hollandaise.
With the Chipotle.
A la Chipotle.
Yeah, that sounds so friggin' yummy.
Frick, now I'm hungry.
I feel like the sweetness of the waffles really offsets like the greasiness, the richness of it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if that's true.
I can see that.
Making that up. Listen, I want to get back to the marathon.
Sorry, yeah. So, and I'll be like, it's only 21 kilometers. It's only 21. Have you done a half marathon before?
I have. I've done a full marathon.
Holy shit, dude!
But I did walk the whole thing because I was carrying a rucksack.
Okay.
And it was in.
Are we trying to diminish this?
No, it wasn't. It was it was 26 miles. Yeah, it was a marathon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in New Mexico in the desert.
Hot.
Very, very hot. Hot, daddy, hot.
How long does this take?
Oh, I mean, it took me like fucking 8 hours. I just walked it, right? Shit. Took the whole day.
I would have 8 would be fine. I'm pretty sure I run a half marathon in like 3.5 hours. So times 2, I'm running it as fast as you're rucking it.
Well, then it clearly took way longer than 8 hours.
Oh,
probably 12 then. I don't know.
Probably 12.
All day. We started at something stupid in the morning and then finished around like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Unreal.
Yeah, it was but I'm saying I'm discounting it because running's way friggin' harder on the body than I don't know.
Yeah, and yet I fucking love running. Like one of the hardest things. So I don't want to say I was a runner for years, but I introduced myself to exercise with running. In high school, I started running. Just like one summer, I was like, I need to like get out of my head and out of my bedroom, and I just started fucking running, and didn't know what I was doing. Kind of just started around the block, and then added onto it, and then went online and was like mapping out routes and shit like that. Over time, I developed more knowledge, and you pick stuff up, and you buy better shoes, and you buy the gear to go with it, so I could run in the winter and stuff like that.
Ooh, yeah, when it's freezing cold,
and
I love getting sweaty.
It's actually a nice contrast, I find. I'm not excited to run in the summer. Yeah, those like plus 30 days, I'm gonna be steaming. But all this to be said, I ran for several years, and then I feel like I kind of just like continued building and building and building until
dope.
Oh, did you just share that in the?
I just fucking clicked it.
Damn.
Just if you hover your mouse over the chat, look at this.
I think you have to do that as the.
Oh, it's like
the main, as the host of the podcast. Yeah.
Sick. I'm just gonna share all of his and make it sound like we're getting just a stream of chats.
Yeah, it's just intense over here. Can't keep up. Yeah, and then it grew and grew and grew, and then I achieved a 10K, which was like a big deal, and then I did like a race weekend type thing with that. And then whatever it was, 2012 or 2013, I signed up and did the half marathon with the army run. But man, my knees were fucking shot, and I like pardon the pun, but like stepped away from running for a while. Because
I was going to spend some time with my family.
Yeah, enjoy my knees while I still have them. I'm anticipating that'll probably happen this time, but I have like a gradual chart that I've mapped out from now until October 19th that's very fluid, and it's like a slow it slowly scales into being able to achieve that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
What was your motivation for this?
One of my girlfriends here wanted to do it, so she asked me if I would. I said, "Yeah, fuck. Like I need a kick in the ass at this point in my life because I can't sit around and wait for motivation." Do you feel like this?
Oh,
like the motivation is never coming. It's not.
No,
coming.
it's yeah. The girls never came. Yeah, like I think I agree with you 100% with that. I feel like I'm in a very similar place in the sense that, you know, being in shape was a big part of my life for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then I just stopped. And it's really hard to get back into it.
Yeah, it's like it fell by the wayside for some reason.
I saw a guy do a TikTok and he was like,
speaking on behalf of me, sorry, not you. I don't know if that
I think
is how you feel as well. I didn't want to speak on your behalf.
I saw a TikTok and this guy was saying, you do anything for you. It was like, well done, but in the wrong hands, it could be produced like really cheap and cheesy. But he's like, yeah, you do anything for your kids, but would you stop drinking for them? Would you start eating healthy for them? Would you start exercising for them? And I was like, my brain. Because I agree with everything that he said.
Yeah.
But my brain doesn't do long term.
Like long term projections?
Well, no, I mean I can imagine anything. I can project anything. I can do that.
Okay.
I can imagine myself.
So what do you mean by your brain?
I just can't prioritize my future self because
okay.
It's not that I can't. I haven't, and struggling to do it. But it's the idea that there's no urgency, there's no deadline. It's just like a lifestyle change, which is I'm just riddled with ADHD.
That's what it is, I think.
And it's so hard to it's hard to change from one task to another.
Yes.
It's I feel like it's an insurmountable task.
Insurmountable. Yeah, I like that.
To change lifestyle habits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because so many of the things that I do are
ingrained habits. Yes, totally.
Well, I don't think about it. And that's a thing too. It's we're really hard on ourselves. But there's according to my research, evidence that you have already made the decision before you've made it. There's so many of the things that you do on a daily basis that are just hardwired now. You don't have to think. It's like breathing.
Yes.
And so I could apply to a lot of things too, like when you reach for this snack or that drink or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not just that you're trying to stop a bad habit and build a better one.
Yep.
You're trying to identify where these things are happening, where you're just not thinking about them. And
May I offer? Sorry, while we're on the subject, I came across this on a podcast that Chris Stefano was on. Have you heard
Man,
of
he's
this
so
app
funny.
called Yuka? Sorry, I'm showing it on the screen. I don't know if you can tell.
I just deleted that today. Why did I delete that app?
Stop. Okay.
Why did
Have
I
you
have
used it?
No, of course not. I got rid of it.
No. Okay, so Yuka has a scanning feature. I'm going to show you this. So you can like scan barcodes. I don't know. I'll try it with my
oh,
I have a ginger ale here.
It's for like healthy things.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll.
Oh, we got to talk about Brian Johnson afterwards.
I don't know if it'll scan because it's very shiny, this barcode. I don't know if that'll work. What else can we find? But okay, let's pretend that scanned. And it was I don't know, my cottage cheese. Cottage cheese, okay, which like is a healthy food, I thought. Tells me that it's actually a rating of poor. So it's 49 out of 100, and it's an orange, which isn't the worst thing, right? There's worse.
I mean, that's a fail on any standardized test.
Yeah, a 49 is no bueno. And they tell us why. So additives, high risk additives. There's protein. So these are all good things, positives. Protein, calories, saturated fat, sugar, and sodium is low. They do, however, give you recommendations for what you could get instead, brand wise.
So healthier alternatives of the same product.
Totally, yeah. So and I'm not paying for this. So this is like all the free features. You can pay and get more out of it, but I'm like, whatever. So
I would use that.
I buy Fiber One bars. Those are no-nos, and they recommend Made Good bars. Or like for my fruit gummies, they recommend the Smart Sweets. Or for my barista oat milk, they recommend this one. You know, like there's a bunch of different.
Can you filter by country of manufacture? That'd be so friggin' cool.
I asked the same fucking question, dude. I was like, can we get only Canadian products, please? Because you know damn well.
Show me how to do this.
Yeah, you know damn well this is going to tell me all of the stuff that I can get in the US of A. So, not sure. But, yeah, I think we can.
Yeah, I'd have to be at the point in my life where everything else is already changed enough that I.
Okay, so for you, this would be a low priority change as far as like making changes and choices. Is that, or is this something that you could easily change? Oh, okay. I was asking.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But I didn't know that's what I was saying until you. You said it. You know what I mean? Okay. I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because I don't know. I feel like food is the hardest thing to change, so it's the one I want to do last.
Okay, and it's also for beauty products.
So that's smart, because what goes on your skin goes in your body.
It gets absorbed. Yeah. So,
speaking of what goes on your skin.
Okay.
We did that episode about Brian Johnson, the man who has 18-year-old erections.
Yes.
Yeah, he I've seen a bunch of him in the social media now after that Netflix thing came out.
Okay.
Because we talked about it like, I don't know, a week or two after it was released, maybe. I could be completely wrong, but it felt that way.
At the press.
Anyway.
Yes.
They were talking about the fact that he's got his own line of products now.
Okay.
He broke up with his girlfriend, but she's suing him now, I think. But
what?
And then there was a ton.
We are never ever getting back together.
It's me.
Sorry.
I'm the problem. It's me. The other one was the non-disclosure agreements that he was making people sign. Because I was having this thought. This is before I saw this content, but I was thinking all these there's a ton of people on the internet who have products, who have organizations, whatever. And if things aren't above board, you find out about them because people talk.
Yes.
So I was like, not hearing much about Brian Johnson, so things must be pretty, or at least so far, pretty legit. Because he was doing all those meetups and the stuff like that. So I feel like if you're gonna crack and you're gonna show your true self, it's gonna be at one of those kinds of events.
Okay. In an in-person thing, it's hard to.
Yeah, but apparently he had like an inordinate amount of them required by people working with him or around him or whatever. So I don't know if this applies just to the Netflix show,
okay,
or sort of more broadly, like anyone who works with him, if you're part of his blueprint company, or you know what I mean, like. And then I guess some legal expert, they were commenting it's not unusual to have NDAs being signed for these kinds of things, but the I guess clauses that were included in his NDAs were different to the point that they were almost weird kind of thing. Yeah, they hit different. So yeah, he's just, which on the one hand, I mean, he's already demonstrated that he's a different kind of person.
Totally. Yep.
So, I mean, we're looking at this from the lens of someone that we would expect to be more like you and me, who have, difficulty motivating to train for a half marathon or even register for one.
Yeah. He's
you know what I mean?
Every single day doing like the most fucking monk-like shit.
Yeah. But the least monk-like shit too.
Well, yeah. Fair.
Like he's got, I don't know. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting that, I won't say the world's catching up to him. Yeah, he's definitely like, I guess to quote Sean, if he's the orchid, he's not exactly growing out of the mud right now. Where like a Buddhist monk would, like, I don't know if they sleep on stone, but they eat simple food, they have simple clothes, and they lead simple lives. But his life is anything but simple.
Fair, yeah.
Anyway, thought it was interesting.
It's like
the snake oil salesman is.
Sorry, snake oil salesman. Oh, interesting comparison.
Wow, we talked about that on that episode where it was the fact that he has his own line of products, and I always get suspicious. Like, what was her name? One of the Kardashians, and her makeup. Like,
Kylie Jenner. Cosmetics.
Yeah, like, I'm almost jealous. I can't just throw money at a thing to start it. You know what I mean?
Sure. So it's interesting you say that. I don't know much about her personally, but years ago, I worked with a young lady who really admired Kylie Jenner. And I remember her telling me, because she did watch like Keeping Up with the Kardashians and stuff. I remember her telling me that on several episodes, Kylie had been like overheard saying or quoted saying like, I like, not that she wishes she wasn't who she was, but she's like, I just want to be a normal person.
Yeah.
And I hope, and I'd like to think that I would still be pursuing this. Right. Yeah. I would still be pursuing this regardless of like her fame or notoriety.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, like we don't like feel badly for her, but it humanizes her. Or it humanized her for me anyways, because I did perceive everybody in this, Kardashian Jenner clan as
needing therapy.
I don't want to say fake, but like, I don't know, produced, I would say. I don't know, it like, yeah, it humanized her in my opinion. And she was like, had I not been born into this family, I hope that I would have pursued this anyways, because it is like a real passion that she has. Who knows?
No one
who knows? But she is where she is, and she's made what she's made. And I know that they claim that they haven't had any help getting to where they're at, but like, you had some help.
Also, like,
whether
maybe
whether you intended to have help or not, you know what I mean? Like, you have connections with certain people, puts you in the right rooms, the right places. The work you do from there is important too, but like, half the battle is getting right there. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean,
I will never produce wine in Vegas.
Parents, well, I mean, it drives me nuts. Like, I don't know. Damn, this light is.
Is it turning off?
Yeah, it's. I'm trying to have it run on an external battery pack.
Oh, okay.
But it's charging, so I don't know if sometimes the wire just kind of slips or whatever. But anyway, yeah, your parents are rich. Don't say that you worked for everything you got. All right, this light. It's going to be
doing its own thing.
Like, we could start our own line of clothes right now for the podcast if we had $20 million.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
But you need capital to invest and create something. Conor McGregor, like, I'm sure he didn't buy a distillery and then come up with his own recipe. You know what I mean? Like, they paid
he was
someone to make him scotch. And they put a label on it. Like,
sorry, I'm reading this fictitious story called The Guest List. And I have a different book, but I read this when we were...
Yeah.
Anyways, I read that. Lucy Foley is the author, for those listening. And one of the characters in the book mentions Conor McGregor's whiskey, I guess it is. So,
Proper 12.
Anyways, Proper 12. Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I just discovered this yesterday from reading that in the book. I was like, oh, I guess Conor McGregor has a whiskey.
Well,
I was going to look up this video.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has his tequila.
CCC,
and
yes.
And so did George Clooney did, but I think he sold it. I don't know why I know that.
George Clooney had one, but sold it. Also, is he divorcing
a line of
his wife? I know I shouldn't care. Like, I should care 0%.
Doesn't she work for the UN? Isn't that like a mar against her record?
I remember them saying, I don't know if any of this is true. And who cares? I don't know. But like, she was marrying down because like she was the one who was like doing all the important work and stuff like that. And I was like, oh shit. Gosh, I don't even know who I would have sent this to.
What are you looking for again?
Oh, there's this video and this woman's talking about how difficult it is to like be a woman in business and succeed because there's no access to what you were describing, the capital. Oh, I know who the creator is. I can just look up her account. Okay.
You think I'd remember what I was talking about after you said the word capital?
Moments ago.
Nope.
Okay. So because it's Joe Rogan that she duet? No, it's not duet. Stitch, where it's his video first and then she jumps in after. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna start. I don't know if I'm allowed to play this video, but I'm gonna.
Don't worry. We don't have enough listeners for the shit to get flagged.
And I need you to stay with me because this affects you even if you don't think it does. Worldwide, 2% of venture capital funding goes to women. If you're listening to this and you're not an entrepreneur, you're going to be like, okay, cool, I don't want to start a business. That's no problem. How many times have we sat next to a man being like, oh, the gender pay gap doesn't exist. It's illegal. You can't be paid a different amount for the same job. And therefore, we do have gender equality now. Absolutely the fuck not. If you look around and you look at your phone, you look at the software you're using, you look at the clothes you're wearing, I can bet that the very large majority of that will have been made because of venture capital funding. So you look at that list of richest women, right? You look at that list of richest men. What have they done? They have built companies. And they have built companies through getting venture funding. It is almost impossible to grow a big business without getting venture capital funding. And so don't even talk about this being like fucking tough out here when the playing field is so far from level. Earlier this year, when my two male co-founders decided to start a company with me, their chances of raising funding for that business decreased by 81.5% by just adding me as a co-founder. Adding someone, a whole person with a great education who's built successful businesses.
She says great education. She has like a master's from Oxford University.
That's so mid.
That's mid. Yeah. So anyway, just a little backstory for you.
Before adding me to the co-founders decreased their possibilities of raising funding by 81.5%. Fine, you don't care about that. Let's talk about how this affects fucking everyone. So first of all, we know that women-founded companies hire more women, they pay women more, they have more equitable policies for women. They also, statistically, in case you didn't know, far outperform male-founded companies when venture-backed. And even if none of those things come into your radar and you are absolutely fine with all of those things, then let me tell you that this funding gap is exactly why we are building a world for men by men. We talk about having gender equality. We talk about how far we've come. Yes, we've come so far. But it is things exactly like this funding gap, which mean that, for example, 97% of all of the scientific data we have on the human body, 97% is based only on men. It's 2024. How can you complain about something like the fact that the women who are richest in the world are richest by divorce? Do you know what got their husbands that money? Building companies. Statistically, women cannot even get fucking close. So how about you stop whining about the fact that apparently these women want money when actually what they want is lowered barriers to entry so that they can build their own shit, build a world that is actually made for them and grow economies.
So she's obviously on her
super fucking wrong.
She's on a very clear path of trying to get into these venture funded companies, right? Sorry, this is what brought me to that, because she talks about like getting the capital to start a company, and this is kind of like what got me on this thought process. And I remember hearing this video. By the way, if you guys want to go listen to it 1,000 times again, Grace Beverly is the creator. She has like she launched like a very successful what is the word? Athletic wear company. Years ago. I think, gosh, I'm gonna get this wrong. I want to say 6 years ago, something like that. She's obviously, I don't say obviously, but like she's British, so she's UK based. And I remember following her when she was like first starting the company, and I was like I had a lot of time to go on Instagram back then, so I knew what she was up to. These days not so much, but then this came up on my feed and I was just like, oh, it's Grace, let's see what she's got to say. And then I was blown away. She's sharing accurate statistics, and I couldn't get over the fact that like her as an additional member, as an additional co-founder of a company, decreased their chances for capital funding by 81.5%. And I was just like, this is wild. So why is there that difference? I don't know, but yeah, just a little just a little something to simmer
I'm
think
always
about this week.
always skeptical when people talk numbers, especially when they're angry about them.
Okay, yes.
Because we have to trust what she's saying. And
Totally.
I have no reason to trust her. Okay, that said,
I have no reason.
I was immediately suspicious when she got the year wrong. Just putting that out there. It's 2025.
I'm sorry, it's a video from last year.
It was a fail joke. What really bugs me about that video though is that I agree with probably everything she said in terms of the performance of the companies or the businesses.
Yeah.
When there are more women present. I think, to be quite honest, most women that succeed are harder workers than the men that succeed.
I think, I don't want to say they have more to lose, but because there is still, I don't want to say a stigma, but there's still something in the air.
I'm sure for many people that's the case. I think just in general,
okay.
if a woman is in the workplace and you ask her whatever, she gets assigned something, however you want to word it, do this. She's going to do it a lot more seriously than, like, I don't know if this is a good example or not, but think of cleaners.
Yes.
The people that you not necessarily
I'm picturing
contracted
the
cleaners at
cleaning
office
staff
spaces
at YMCA, because those are the last cleaning people I saw today.
I'm picturing people that go to your home to clean.
Oh, okay. Okay, yes. Yeah.
Because those
traditionally women
are almost all women.
Yeah.
And their turnover is insane.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like they charge, even these days, still reasonable rates.
Yeah.
They're only in your house for maybe 3 hours. They get so much done so fast.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I look to that and I see much more diligent work, because I think guys probably associate a lot more of who they are with what they do, whereas I don't know what women are like, but I'm assuming less so the case. I've never really seen too many women. Sometimes you can tell someone's not really proud of what they're doing.
Okay.
I don't think you see that as much with women. They don't give a fuck.
Right.
They're more comfortable with who they are. They're more confident about themselves, which shows the fragility of the male ego. Which
the fragility of the male
don't even get
ego.
me going. But that said, like,
but we could.
I don't see this changing.
Oh, like for you personally, you mean? Sorry, or like in the world?
Yeah, in the world, like because you can't
shift
legislate this problem away.
No, and that would be,
which means,
I don't want to say that would be wrong, but it would not. People would find ways around it. Like, there was yeah. If you really want to get something done, there's other ways to do legal.
Yeah, and like her saying 2% are women.
Okay.
I'm like, you're asking me to make a lot of assumptions, like
the accuracy.
Do fewer women, like, are the amount of men and women applying for these
the same
for this investment the same? No.
Yeah.
So there's already fewer women, and so I think that describes the levels of the barriers to get to the top. Do you know? By the time you get up there, there's only 2% of the women that are left.
Yes.
But when the whole the whole society is governed by people, and by governed by people, I mean the ones that make the decisions, the ones that choose to invest here instead of there, the ones who, you know what I mean? Yeah. And until those individuals change, I don't think the system's going to change very much in favor of women. I don't think those numbers are going to balance out ever.
Yeah. I want to tie this in a little bit, because it is like feminist speak, and I don't say a lot of ways, but like, it folds into what I'm about to bring up. Christina P, my favorite, was talking about on a recent podcast, saying that like the feminist movement, and she named a few of like high-ranking females in the feminist movement. She was like, love everything that they've done for us. So amazing. Thank you so much. She's like, but the feminist movement never took into account motherhood, becoming a mother. And she was like, there is something that changes in you, like your brain chemistry changes, how your brain performs changes, like literally. That's unavoidable, undeniable. And this is like by way of adoption, by way of like, we'll say natural conception, by like all the ways. Like if you're caring for a small baby and you become a parent, like your brain changes. And then oh gosh, she's like, your priorities will obviously change, you change. And she just like, she pointed out that fact, you know, a lot of these women that led the feminist movements never had children. And so it's so difficult to apply this sort of like concept that just doesn't work in reality with the like in that application of like being a mom.
Yeah, it's like a pretty important variable to leave out.
Major
it fucks
variable,
the whole algorithm.
Yeah. That's a very concise way of putting it. Yeah. And so I think I can't say unfortunately. It's not unfortunate. Sorry, I've had this cough for like 2 weeks.
I was gonna say, it sounds like you're like dying. I think it's
I just I don't know. Like I think of women, I see like Grace as one of these people who like, yes, she perhaps wants to have a family someday, like that kind of thing. But right now she's like fully in her fucking career and she's like trying to kill it. And there's some setbacks, and are those setbacks as she describes them? I feel like I'm in a position where I'm happy to believe her. I'll believe anything she tells me. But it's like the fact of the matter is that this is what everything looks like now. So like the richest women in the world are the divorced, the ex-wives of very rich men. But there's other women that want to be in those positions and like are working really hard trying to get up there, and they're being held back, or at least they feel like they're being held back. And so it's like, how do we change this?
Yeah, I just want to go back really quickly and say, for the record, I'm sure everything she said was factual, accurate, and properly interpreted.
Yes.
All hail Grace.
Thank you for Thank you for clarifying, Colin. Yeah.
You said something I thought was really interesting. I see two culture problems.
Okay.
With this. So number one, like let's just talk about business because that's mostly privately owned. Let's say I don't know. But let's just like go back just a few decades.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're still at the very beginning of this equality journey
of something very different happening. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't think that society as a whole, you know, I watch shows where you see women getting smacked around and shit. Like think of Mad Men or whatever.
Totally. Yeah.
It's like we've at least gotten to a point where the general population understands that kind of behavior is wrong. Mm-hmm. But I still think there's a lot of people that probably think women aren't as good as men. And I think a lot of those people are probably the guys who succeed in the business world because you kind of got to be an asshole to be good at, I don't know, mergers and acquisitions or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it's tough out in these streets.
But also, this is going to sound so fucking... If this gets misinterpreted, this could be deadly.
Okay.
But...
You know what? I think we should just take a pause so that people can clip this really easily. And then we'll get viral. Just
okay, we'll pause for 3 seconds.
Okay.
Do you think if these titans of feminism from back in the day,
titans of industry, sorry,
because I see I mean personally, my philosophy is I don't care about you as an individual.
Okay.
I want you to feel good about who you are and do the things that you want to do. That's the sum of how I want
the world
to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
People get, anyway, it's a tangent, but
that's a delicate thing too, because there's so many, everyone's individual. We're all our own little snowflakes. And so
without treading on other people's individual liberties, right? Like, just because I want to be punchy face doesn't mean I actually get to be who I feel like I am inside and punch people in the face. That's where the line is.
I'm picturing the Emoji Movie. Anyways, I don't know why.
I wonder if the foundation layers of the four mothers of feminism, if they had included motherhood, what would have changed? What would that landscape look like now? Or if they hadn't, I know there's like different kinds of feminism, like waves of it. I don't know if they're like levels of, like, you can be pescatarian, vegetarian, vegan. I don't know if there's like
you cut out eggs, you cut out dairy,
And this is a very traditional
argument
point of view.
I think like with everything. Sorry, I'm just gonna go off what you were just saying.
Yeah.
I want before I forget.
For sure.
I feel like it's, I don't want to say I'm realizing more and more, but almost everything seems like it's a spectrum.
Of course. Of course it's a spectrum.
That thing. There's not one, like there's no black and white for almost anything. So I feel like in feminism it would be a logical thing to see that it does have all of those shades in that spectrum as well. Yeah.
Sorry, every time you keep saying, you know what? It's twice that it's happened, and I'm like, shit, I'm about to get in trouble for talking about feminism. Here's where it happens. This is how it ends.
You know what's hilarious is that I didn't even realize I was saying, you know what, till you just pointed it out. And then it dawned on me that that's shit my mom says, and I must have picked it up. I'm turning into my mother. So thanks, Mom.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
Speaking of our four mothers.
shattered glass sound effect. If the tone of their message had changed, if the scope of their message had changed, and they weren't, and I guess the way I'm trying to posit the question is coming from the point of view of women want to be seen, heard, treated, whatever, the exact same as men. I don't know that's accurate. I'm trying to figure out what equality sounds like. You can't put that into a soundbite. But
so I think that is the fundamental question of feminism. But what even is this? No, I'm just kidding. Like, what does this look like?
Does it?
Like, does 100% equality mean it's the right thing?
No, and I don't, like you said, like the spectrum. I don't think. I do care, Frank. By the way, thank you. I'm gonna show everyone my new trick here. Watch this. Boom! Show on stream. Sounds like you do. I care about you, Frank.
Bro, I love it.
Like, it almost makes it like women shouldn't want to do women things, traditionally women things.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So do you as a young woman grow up
so
hearing the message, this is what they want you to be, but you can be anything you want, and then you go back and you go through some of these pioneers, because truly that's what they are, right? I mean, to be vocal in a man's world is, historically not worked out for women, unfortunately. And there's a billion fucking jokes in my head right now.
Okay.
I'm just trying really hard to fight them all off because they're inappropriate.
I will may I offer an example of what I think you're trying to say?
Love it. Yeah, for sure.
This came to mind as you said, like,
this is the power of ADHD, folks, by the way.
So, like, in not wanting to say abide by the full feminism ways of the world, one of those things is like changing your name after you get married. That's like a very traditional thing, and there's a lot of controversy surrounding it because it's like you're taking your husband's last name, so you're taking on who the man is in the family. You are like absorbing the man's side of the family and neglecting your own. I don't want to say my counter argument is, but like, this is all made up.
100% is. And that's why
the name that I had before I got married was my dad's last name. So if we really wanted to like be quote unquote feminist, ultra feminist, I would make up my own last name.
100%.
And then my husband would take that last name. I don't know how that works.
It begs the question why you don't just make up your own name anyway. You get married.
Yeah.
Start a new fucking family. Like, I now pronounce you Mr. or Mrs.
The fucking Cassidys.
Jenna and Jordan Cassidy.
Yeah.
It's Sturon. If anyone watch Kevin Bridges on YouTube, Scottish comedian. Yeah, it's the sleepover one. Oh my fucking god.
It's hilarious.
It's so good. Put something in that fucking frying pan, Mr. Cassidy. But yeah, like
nothing I'd like more than a bowl of Alpen.
Nice Alpen. You think 5 a.m.'s too early?
Oh my god, I could watch that again. I'll probably watch it again after this.
I recommend people go watch it. It's 10 minutes, but it's worth your time.
Oh, yes. And like, so goes on this like whole hyphenating your last name, giving your children the last name of their father. You know, if I went with my mom's last name, that's still my grandpa's last name. She was named after, you know what I mean? Like, it just goes.
Yeah.
And then I think there's this interesting argument that I don't know how it forms itself because we didn't have science at the beginning of time when people started giving each other their dad's last name. But biologically, you can trace back your bloodline through your mother forever. Like, your maternal bloodline is like the longest running shit there is. However, I
did not know that.
Well, for real. This is the information I've gathered over time. How accurate it is, Colin?
Sorry, does that... The inference I'm hearing is that the paternal bloodline does not stretch that far back.
Yeah, it's not as able to go as far back, or is not as clear, we'll say. And so
because it's somewhere
along the way,
same DNA. Yeah,
I know. So like,
I think it's something to do with childbirth.
Maybe because like the mom is actually giving birth. I don't know. But that being said, somewhere along the way, there's two arguments to this. So like, obviously we didn't have science to tell us that this was the case. But then it was also a way for fathers to be able to pass something on to their children because they weren't able to like give birth to them. So it was like, I'll give you my last name. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if this is like
that's a really interesting. No, I think that makes sense.
The women were giving birth, the dads were giving the names. I feel like that was like the compromise that they found at the time, and it worked. But now it seems as though it's not fair in the same ways anymore. It doesn't feel fair in the modern day because obviously all of these traditional things were established long before technology. Long before we lived in cities.
Like, fair.
We were in small villages in the fucking Middle Ages. Like,
there's a group of people somewhere. I want to say South Asia, Southeast Asia, the Pacific. Yeah. I don't know. But they're like a tribal people. They have their own culture and everything. And this is what I'm saying by fair. First of all, it's 2025. If you're complaining about something being unfair from an area that you have complete control over,
yes,
just do what you want. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just do, like, be Princess Consuela Banana Hammock all day and crap bag.
Take those liberties, bro.
Yeah, but these folks, they don't have names like we have names. They have names that are songs.
Ooh.
So they actually sing their names.
That sounds
so weird. And honestly, it sounded really, really nice. But the point is that...
How did you hear about these peoples?
Yeah, we think... We get so entrenched in this idea that names. Like, honestly...
Yeah.
It's probably just for tax purposes.
Yep.
I'm sure it's just so the government can benefit. And then... definitely an element of patriarchal oppression. Got to sprinkle some of that in every now and again.
And it's colonialism, and we hate it.
Yeah, it's just all the worst of everything that men have done for this world. But the bottom line is, for most of these things now, like names, like,
I think it's the least
be who you want to be.
To be honest.
I mean, if we got people walking around identifying as cats.
Yeah.
And this is being taken seriously in the workplace. No fur off your back. If we're able to do that and
real?
Be okay with that.
Are they actually installing cat litter boxes for people to pee in? Like, this is mental illness, no?
Just because I still serve the Canadian government, I'm going to not answer that question.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm going to hope that the people who know me know my answer.
Sure. Am I just like a close-minded fucking...
I mean, these are also things that, like, aren't worth thinking about. I don't care who identifies as a cat.
Oh,
so,
okay.
This is to suggest that you're not closed-minded. You just have better things to think about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not...
my, like, off the hip reaction. Is that the expression even? Is like, but why? Are you all right? Colin is looking perturbed.
I think Cassie's in the laundry room.
Oh, okay. Not a burglar.
Well, if it's a burglar, you're going to all see it live pretty soon.
It's live, guys.
Yeah.
One of the benefits of recording a live podcast.
Oh, man. That'd be so much fun. Hey, long story short.
What?
That it would be a fun concept for like a story.
So fun, you guys. So fun.
Like, someone's recording their podcast, but then, like, they get burgled upstairs and they got to run and sort it out. And, like, the podcast can hear things and every now and again can see things.
Sorry, something happened on the buses today, but I just signed an NDA for my job.
No.
At our last safety meeting. I don't know what else to call it. It was like, you have all of this very delicate information about underage people. And they were basically like, don't share.
Hey, tell me that story you were going to tell me about the guy you shared an Uber with.
The guy I shared an Uber with, who is telling me this story about what happened at his job.
Exactly. Yeah. Tell us what he said.
He was accused. He was accused of touching underage kids, and I don't know in what capacity, but the words that were used was touching children. And anyways, there was some intervention. I think this person is innocent. And some parents are wild, man. Some parents are wild.
Yeah, some of my coworkers' parents are pretty wild too.
Yeah. I really
because we're talking about your friend you shared an Uber with.
My friend that I shared an Uber with. Yeah, we're quite close now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This story really brought us together.
Pretty mad.
Totally.
Did we lose the plot? Did I ruin that?
No, they you know what? The parents actually had to intervene. They said, "You know what? I'm going to come pick you up immediately. I'll be there. I'll be there in a jiff."
We never think about the child.
No authorities were called, I don't think.
That's always good for the children.
Totally.
You know? Mm-hmm. To have, I mean, we've had three separate instances where cops were called to our kids' schools this year.
Stop.
Man,
an elementary school?
Yeah, and I didn't hear this from a guy in an Uber. This happened at our school.
I never saw police at my elementary school unless it was like police fucking presentation day.
I think the only times we really saw police in the elementary school was for drugs, but now it's for all kinds of stuff.
Drugs in the elementary school?
I went to school in Pembroke.
I went to school in fucking East Ottawa, bro. Like, what?
A lot of people like to think they're from a shitty town, but
say no
welcome
more.
to Pembroke.
Yeah. You're like, we win. We had the popos at our fucking
greasy
school.
AF. The the one this guy came looking for his child.
Okay.
And it was basically like it felt like a custody fight or something, you know what I mean? Like
okay.
you know, so like people weren't comfortable releasing the child into his custody.
Even though okay.
And then there's two we'll say active shooter. No one was shooting, but they do the fucking what do they call them? Like
a drill where somebody.
Yeah, I can't remember what they call it. It's like a lockdown. That's it. They did a lockdown. Okay. I almost said stand to. That's what we say.
As a training thing? Speaking of things that you've renamed, we now call the kiss and ride the park and fly.
The what?
The park and fly. Because, like...
Park and fly?
Yeah, I said it by accident one day, and Jordan's like, nope, that's what it's called now. It's the park and fly. And I was like, oh, that's so good. Cool. Happy accident.
I love when that happens.
Sorry, but yeah, so the two lockdowns, you said,
yeah, there was one involved a fucking a guy had a weapon, I think.
Stop.
Yeah, when
and Cassie he infiltrated the school.
I mean, it's not hard to infiltrate. You ring the doorbell, they look at you in the camera, and then they unlock the door. There's no one there patting you down. It's not.
There is no one there patting you down, but I don't know. You could see a lot through that little camera, no?
No.
Probably just looked like a dad trying to pick up I'm assuming this was a guy. Oh my god, I just stereotyped this person. Was it a man?
Oh my fucking god.
Was it a woman?
No one in the 5 years we've been doing this would have pegged you to be the sexist. Ugh.
I'm so sexist. Oh
this
no.
This is the best day ever. Yeah.
So I wrote this down, The Four Mothers of Feminism, as the title for the podcast episode, but I think it's going to be surprise. Jenna's sexist.
Oh, that's even better. I had insurmountable odds.
Oh, I like insurmountable odds. I like that. Jeez, we're going to have to put up a poll. We'll get our listeners to name that.
Yeah, focus group. We should probably wrap this up soon anyway. We talked about a lot of different things. Holy shit.
All over the map.
We started out a marathon and we ended up with you being a bigot.
It's full circle, really. Just like my marathon's going to be.
John K. He's so petty. How petty is he? He would go through all of our episodes just to find anything that I've said that sounded bigoted. Just to come to your defense.
Yes. This is John, you say?
Yeah, his name's John. John K. He's a big fan of yours. He likes your work. He tolerates mine.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, John. This is your friend. who often points out your racial commentary. Is this correct?
Yes. Yeah, same guy. One in the same. Some would call him a pain in the ass. I call him my guardian angel.
My bestie. Yeah.
Yeah, and he fucking hates it because he's Native American and I'm white. And he just really hates that he cares for me so much.
Closing notes. Isla now runs around the house randomly singing Pink Pony Club.
Oh my god.
Pink Pony
yeah, Olivia
Club.
loves that song right now.
And if you don't know the context of the song, please go listen to it. It's not appropriate. A 3-year-old should not be singing this song, and neither should Olivia, for that matter. But it's a popular song on the radio, and
so I picked up Olivia from school a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Daddy, can we listen to Pink Pony Club? So I found out.
Had you heard the song?
I know the song.
Okay.
But I'm just piling on what you said about the inappropriosity of it. It's called Lark, Lennox, and Addington. Fuck, I don't know. It's their before and after school care. But the after school care, they showed the kids the music video or her live performance from
the Grammys.
The Grammys, yeah. I didn't know what the award show was called.
Okay.
And I was like,
maybe the AMA. I'm not sure.
I was like, as a 5-year-old, not concerned about her listening to the song. She can barely understand the lyrics. And I mean, I listen to music now that I listened to when I was like 10. And I'm like, fuck. I was so dumb.
Should not have been. You didn't know.
Well, didn't know. And why would you? Especially because a lot of it is, especially our generation's music was way better. It was a little bit more artistic. You had to get the message. It wasn't just like,
it wasn't a direct message.
Boom, bop, pop, pop, bam. You know, I don't know. I can't remember Kendall's Kamar's lyrics, but I was like, I don't know if it's a good idea to show the live performance of this song to children. But I stood there thinking, I was like, I don't understand if this is something I agree with or not. I didn't know if I had an opinion on it. I was like, at the end of the day,
you're like, wait, should I be upset about this? Because I don't know if I am. Yeah.
I was trying to figure out if it was inappropriate or not for a 5-year-old. And I was like, fuck, I don't know. I don't know how to gauge shit anymore. The world is so perverted. It's
I think what it is we were this is a whole other podcast episode. I feel like every generation is raised by their parents who were raised at a different time. And so we're trying to like teach them how to be good in the sets of like morals and values that we had, except for the world has changed and evolved, and so society changes and socially things change and music changes and clothes change and blah blah blah, right? So everything's changed except for we're still using these like morals and values that are like 30 years predated anyways, past from the past. And then we're trying to fucking like mesh them all together. And it's, I don't know. I guess that's just life.
Try to apply your math to this new math. And the answers are different and you don't know which one's right. It's
yeah, you're like, wait, is this the correct answer? And you're like, how did I get to this answer? And then you start doing your showing your work.
I'll check the math, but I won't know for 13 more years if I fucked it up or not.
Exactly.
Them little shits are going to grow and they're going to blame me for everything. I did my fucking best.
That's why I hate mathematics.
I don't know where I went wrong. And then I'm going to say it's when I let you listen to Pink Pony Club.
Yeah, you're like, that was day one. everything just
day one, week one. Come on. Anyway, we'll save that
on that lovely disappointment. Anyways,
well, thank you everyone for coming out. Frank, thanks so much for being involved in the chat. If anyone else is out there, we do this live. So we usually record on Sunday nights. We've been a little helter-skelter lately.
Yeah. Colin, where can people watch us live?
Oh, great question. We stream live on YouTube.
What? YouTube? But you mean like YouTube? The YouTube?
I try to remember where else we stream live to. Oh, and Instagram. We should be live on Instagram. Phenomenal. Yeah. And if you do all the things that we need you to do, like, comment, and subscribe, download the episodes. I don't even care if you listen to them, really. Listen to this part, because I'm telling you what I need you to do. Just fucking cycle that shit through. You're not on your computer during the day? Open up Spotify, let her rip. But we need numbers.
if we are lucky enough, I've talked to a couple people in the last week about the podcast. So if you were listening, guys, thank you so much. I feel like
huge thanks. I actually really enjoy
listeners are
doing the show.
Yeah,
it's a really it's a fun way for me to spend time that's productive.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying to monetize this shit, folks. Let's go. Let's get on it. Hashtag get that bread.
And also, we want more. Like, we would love to have more guests. So, like, if we have bigger reach, then we look more legit. People are gonna come on and talk to us. We can get you these fucking answers about the four mothers of feminism and shit.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna when we have more people in the live, we're just gonna pick out people. They're gonna send us their email addresses, and we'll bring them on for a few minutes.
Let's do it.
You know what I mean? Just like micro guests. They can ask me anything. Guests. But we got to see your face. Yeah, it's a good. That's a great idea. A lot of people are saying it's a good idea. It's the best.
Alrighty.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Doodles.